on, you already been subscribed. Right now, the queen, she on live. Right now. Please pull over the whip, no phoning when you drive. Dope Soul sporting with the talk. First lady from New York, Brooklyn. All my people, you rocking with the chat. Hit that. The like button would tell me where you at. You know, step from the MBK. Born and raised up MBK. Hey, real lady, where she holding it down. No matter way how you feel, she gon' greet you with a smile.
Sister, you one of a kind.
Yes.
Oh, sister, it's time you
That's
shine. Dope Soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Dope Soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Dope Soul.
What?
Dope Soul.
What?
Your soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Salute, Knick family. Welcome to the channel. Dope Soul Sports Talk, Dope Soul Knicks Talk. Member of the MBK family. This is the Just Knickin' It weekly show. Oh, I'm your host, Stephanie Queen. And as always, we have a lot to talk about. The Knicks are just falling like flies. Just falling like flies. Oh, man. But talk about next man up mentality. The Knicks definitely embody that. But it's getting to the point where we may not have enough bodies, literally. You know, OG is out for game 3. Brunson is doubtful. I think Brunson will play. So we shall see. There might be a Burke sighting. I know some people there's controversy around that, but we very well. I mean, without it, we now we're talking about 6. You know, so we'll talk about that. We'll go through each player and how we're feeling about them. We'll talk about those who want to get into the media. I'm not really into that, but I was just going through Twitter and the sentiment of the media against the Knicks. I mean, it's not anything new, but if you guys want to talk about it, we could talk about that. We could talk about Josh Hart and Reggie Miller if you want. I'm a woman of the people. So if you guys want to talk about that, we can talk about it. It's not really my thing, but we could definitely talk about it. Let me bring in the regulars, Jerrell, Ajay, Geoff. How you guys doing?
Great.
Salute to the chat.
Yeah, salute to the chat. Listen, let's just start where we always start, and that is who and what has well, let's just start with your overall thoughts on the series.
Queen, before we start,
2 games in. Yes,
we have to talk about the Knicks hate. I mean, it just went tenfold.
We got to lead with it though?
To the point where I'm actually I'm laughing at their heads are spinning. Everybody's trying to figure out, what's going on? How do you stop Jalen Brunson? Like everybody's giving Rick Carlisle advice. You know, Gilbert Arenas, they all sitting around the table trying to figure it out. Everybody's head spinning. I mean, it's comical.
Yes, we will get to that. I don't want to lead with that though, if you don't mind.
That'd be the end of the show. We can lead with hit the like button. There's already 25 people in the chat. I want to see 25 likes like right now.
Yes, no doubt.
On the right foot.
No doubt. So yeah, we're 2 games in. Let's talk about, just your thoughts on the series overall. We have some injury news. Does that change your predictions for the series? So Jerrell, we'll start with you, Ajay, Geoff, and then Geoff will lead off the next question, and then we'll mix it up after that.
Okay. Like I said, salute to everybody. Last night was obviously a bittersweet feeling because we had lost Jalen Brunson for a little bit of time, and the roller coaster of emotions. I was sitting on my couch like, man, it might be over. Then he came back. Then you would think that we was undefeated all season. The way I was talking. Like as soon as he came back and he scored his first bucket, I was like, here we go. We're never going to lose again. That's just how I was feeling. So yeah, the Pacers, I never really thought they were a big threat to us because they don't play defense. It's a little different now because we actually short OG now and Jalen Brunson is hurt. So yeah. Tibbs can't still just do a 7-man rotation. Like somebody has to come in.
I mean, the more people we lose, the less players we have to play.
Yeah, but so OG's out, right? So Mitch is out.
Yep.
They was already part of the 7.
That's what I'm trying to say. So if you take them out, now you're reaching down the bench to
Burks and Sims.
oh, all right. That's not as far as I thought you were reaching.
What you thought I was gonna say, like Charlie Brown or somebody?
Yeah, that's
like,
what I thought you was.
oh,
That's what I thought you was talking about.
Y'all know how I feel about Sims, but if we see Charlie Brown in this series, it is over. If we see Jacob Toppin, like we're not going to see those guys, I don't think. But Burks,
all right,
Sims,
yeah,
Burks and Sims should definitely get some burn. Maybe well, hold on. Let me
I don't know if he
it.
needs Sims.
Yeah, I was about to say maybe not Sims. Like Precious might just play like 30-something minutes though.
Yeah.
Like so, it might be Precious doing.
It's Precious and Deuce. I mean,
Precious, Deuce, and
one of them is going to have to go into the starting lineup though.
Yeah, true. So
one
that's just
right. And you know what? We can actually get into that too as you're answering it. Salute to the chat, by the way. You know, who would you rather? You know, well, let's do a quick sweep.
Okay.
You know, on just our thoughts, because that's another question. Who would you prefer to go into the starting lineup between Deuce and McBride?
I would probably Precious. It would have to be him. I don't think I want Brunson, Deuce, DiVincenzo, and Josh Hart on the court at the same time.
We've done it though.
Yeah, we've done it, but for how long? Like that's a lot of minutes. If those are gonna be your starters, and if you're gonna put Deuce in and he's gonna get like almost 40 minutes, that's being small for a very, very long time. But to Tibbs' credit, if he does do it, the Pacers might be the team to do it on. The only thing to me is Siakam, because Siakam seemed like he was killing OG. Like if he actually starts heating up, Josh Hart can't play him. He can't guard him. I don't think. Like he's way too long for him. I don't really think we have anybody to guard Siakam if he's playing at his level. Like he had 2 bad games. Pascal Siakam is better than that.
But do you think OG has something to do with the bad games though?
No, because the times that he did score, they was on OG, especially the first game. So I don't know. Like if he does start killing again, that would prove that. But I didn't think OG, stopped him at his tracks like a whole bunch of times. I think Siakam just wasn't playing well. And to be honest, Halliburton didn't play well either until the second game. But then the second half of last game, he wasn't himself either. TJ McConnell was killing us.
To do with it though?
Say that again.
You don't think the Knicks had something to do with it?
Halliburton, after he had like 20-something in the first half,
yeah,
and then he to me, seemed like he got less aggressive. Like he changed. Just like in the first game, he didn't seem like he was aggressive at all. I thought he was hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not like I don't think they were actually shutting him down. Like Tyrese Halliburton wasn't playing well either. But I'm glad we got the 2 wins. But to answer your question real quick, it will have to be Burks to get those minutes to come off the bench because we need scoring, because I don't think we're going to be able to stop Indiana from scoring. But we need to, because we haven't yet. Look at the actual like total points in the last 2 games. Both of us is just not playing defense, it looks like. Like what was the total score? What was the score of the last
121, 130.
Yeah, but 130, 120. Like once you get in the 120 and 130 range, somebody not playing defense.
But I think the pace has something to do with it too. So there's more shots, going up per game. The Knicks are playing. It seems to me, I would have to check their pace, but it seems to me that they're playing a bit faster than they were in the regular season. But
shooting wise, we've been lighting it up. And I've always said, like, if we make shots, we can win this. We can beat anybody. But the Pacers don't play defense very well, so it's kind of, I don't know. I don't want it to be like fool's gold, like going for the rest of the series, especially if Jalen Brunson is hurt. So we'll have to see. I still have us winning in 5 games. I say we still won in Indiana. Hopefully, Jalen Brunson will play next game, and we'll still win.
Right. Ajay, your overall thoughts on the 2-game series so far?
Listen, man, it was very intense, very interesting. Even yesterday's game, up until the last couple of minutes in the fourth quarter, like you could like it was tight. My throat was tight. Chest was pounding. Everything.
What?
I mean, come on. So it was a rough one, but listen, we pulled through, man. We pulled through. I know we're gonna be talking about like possible lineups, possible substitutions, and all that good stuff like throughout the show. But I mean, this is what the Knicks. This is who the Knicks are. This is what they've been doing all season. They do not give up. They don't let go. We could be down by 20 with 2 minutes left, and we're just coming. We keep coming and keep coming and keep coming. I mean, we haven't lost by blowout. If we did it's could be like a couple of games, but we've been in every game thus far this season. So, and having injuries, I understand. Like you said, we drop in like flies. The guys drop like flies, but throughout the season, that's been happening, and every time somebody else comes up and somebody else delivers.
Yep.
I mean, Precious had a stretch where he was playing out of his mind
in the regular season.
In a regular season, I think
he making me real tight in these playoffs.
Yeah, but you know what? Right now, I see the Indiana Pacers are playing regular season basketball right now. I mean, I hate to say this. They're not doing anything different. They're not, they're not making any adjustments. They're not, they're just playing their regular game. So, who knows? Listen, we're up 2-0. So if we lose one of the next two, all we need, if we steal one in Indiana, it's a wrap. All we need to do, rest OG. Hopefully OG, 4 days rest is enough for him. We don't know the gravity of his hamstring issue, but hopefully it's just, bruise, or I don't know, with treatment, zap that thing, give it some electric shocks. He'll get that thing. Yeah, man. A couple of shots in there, say, OG, you're good to go. So yeah, hopefully we get him back. And listen, again, all we need is one game on the road.
Right.
It's a wrap.
All right. Geoff, your overall thoughts on the first two games before we really get into it?
Well, I just felt like the first half of the last game, that team was unrecognizable to me from a Knicks perspective. I mean, we only gave up 48 points in the second half. So that's really good. Like, I thought the second half we kind of settled, especially the third quarter. I mean, we locked in and really played Knicks basketball. And I don't know if it's just that we don't have the legs to do it for a full 48 minutes or what the case is, but the bench scoring has been killing us. That second unit with Toppin and McConnell and they've just been just cooking us. And it's a little bit tricky because our bench played one more minute than Josh Hart did in that game, so it's a little bit deceiving from that standpoint. But I think, and we'll get into the individual performances in a little bit, but I think in his last 3 playoff games, Deuce is like minus 52 or something like that. Box plus minus, not everything, but I think it tells a legitimate story of his struggles, and we're going to need him. I was so excited to get the win, but and we're in a great position because we have to go 2-3 in our next 5, but we're so shorthanded now. I believe that we can win, but I don't think it's a guarantee we're going to win, just because, I mean, we're just so shorthanded. I don't think I've ever heard of any team losing 5 rotation players and even, contemplating winning a second round playoff series. Right. That's like unimaginable, unfathomable. But at the same time, we look at what this Knicks team has done again and again and again and again. And every time you count out these Nova boys, they just come up and they show you they can do it again. It's I mean, the beatenest thing I've ever seen. So I'm not going to count them out. This is going to be tough, but I think the Knicks are capable, and if they can steal this game 3, I think we're in good shape. If
Oh,
it comes back,
you
if it
think?
comes back to if it comes back to New York tied at 2, I think we may be in a little trouble.
You know what? Listen, I think I agree with everything everyone has said, so far. But there's still some untapped potential. Deuce hasn't been playing the way he played in that Philly series, so we can probably get a little more out of him. I'm hoping, and it's unfortunate that we have to count on him. He's young into his playoff life, but at this point, we need him. Like so, I think that's one of the other questions: is it fair to criticize him, or is it fair to expect more from him given how young he is in his playoff career? Because he's not doing a great job on McConnell. None of us are, but you would think that that's your thing. Yeah, we appreciate the 3-point shooting, and we definitely need it, but playing good man to man, being a really good perimeter defender, like that's your thing. But you couldn't tell guarding McConnell. Now, that being said, McConnell is crafty. He's strong. He's a veteran. But yeah, I would like to see him, do a better job. And now we're gonna need him to score. We're gonna need a little bit more from Precious as well. Um, you know, as much as I can get on Precious for like a stupid foul or something, in that last 5 minutes crunch time, I can't tell you how many big offensive rebounds he got, at least 2, to give us a second chance opportunity. So he definitely came through. Overall, what I'm seeing is that, and I don't want Geoff to, seize up, but I just think the Knicks are better. I just think that the Knicks the Knicks are better. And you know, with all their bench scoring and with all of that, if they're gonna win, they need to blow the Knicks out. If it's a close game in crunch time, the Knicks hit all the big shots. They get all the big offensive rebounds. They make all the big plays because we live in that area, that crunch time area. I can't tell you how many games we've had. I think we're 6-1 in the playoffs alone, but
That's
we
true.
had multiple crunch time games in the playoffs. We're comfortable. We're comfortable there. So as long as Brunson is playing, I feel comfortable that we're going to get something from Precious. I feel comfortable that McBride is going to show up and give us a little more. If Brunson doesn't play, I think we're asking McBride to. We don't have those type of ball handlers, and I think McBride's ball handling has gotten a little better. I kind of trust him more with the ball, bringing it up the court than Josh Hart.
Mhm.
But I think without Brunson, is it's going to be tough. But let's get into who you would start if OG's not going. So are we going with the 3-guard lineup, or are we, just putting Precious in OG's spot? I'll go quickly. I would start Precious. But yeah, I'm interested. Geoff?
Actually, I think I would start Deuce, and here's why. I think that 5-man lineup with Deuce and the Villanova boys and Isaiah Hartenstein played a good amount of minutes together, and their on-off numbers were through the roof, and like plus 30 or something, like outrageously ridiculous. Like it's one of our best 5-man units that we've played all season long. So and the other thing that I'm thinking is, we're gonna miss OG's corner 3-point shooting, right? He was 4 for 7 in that last game, and so if you're replacing OG with with Achua. Achua is a 25% 3-point shooter. They don't have to guard him out there, right? They can, so that means that they can help more off of his guy, and that makes things more difficult for Brunson. And you can pretty much not guard Precious out there. I don't. If you start Deuce out there, you have to at least pay attention. I mean, I know he hasn't had a big series yet, but he's had enough big games. I mean, just last series in game 1, he carried our offense for, at least a half. So Deuce at least has the reputation. We know he can hit those corner shots. And the other thing that I think I'm thinking about with starting Deuce is maybe get him off the McConnell thing for a little bit, right? McConnell's not in their starting lineup, right? And so maybe get him where he's guarding somebody else, get him a little bit of confidence, get him, you know what I mean? Just, and show him confidence that says, yes, we know you've struggled, but we trust you. We trust the work that you put in. We know the kind of player that you are. We're confident in your 3-point shot. We're confident in what you've done. And again, just kind of, I feel like, I don't know why, but McConnell is his kryptonite, and I kind of think it's because he plays too tight up on him. I think if he would, I'm not saying like play 8 feet off of him, because McConnell's the kind of player who wants to get that full head of steam, but he's a good 3-point shooter, but he only really wants to shoot it if he's like wide open. So if he is going to end up shooting that shot, he's reluctant to do it. He doesn't shoot a lot of them from out there. Mm-hmm. And I think you can end up closing out if he does decide to shoot and be okay. Be more comfortable with that than him just getting to his spots in the paint and just like tearing us up like he has, because he just, when you play up on him that first, it seems like he just does one crossover and he's gone, and then he's creating havoc in the middle of your defense. And without OG there as a help defender, I really feel like that could, that could be even worse. And so I don't mind either way though, because I think from what I've seen, Precious at the 4 is better than Precious at the 5. Like when Precious is in the lineup with Isaiah Hartenstein, what you see is that Hartenstein blocks out the 5, whoever it may be. I guess it's usually Turner, but he'll block out that 5, and that just kind of allows Precious the ability to just go get the ball. But when he's out there at the 5 spot, it feels like he doesn't get any of those loose balls and those rebounds. Like, notice at the end of the game when you said he was playing well, he was out there alongside Isaiah Hartenstein, right? And so I think that allows him to do that more. So what I worry about with Precious, and he had some great regular season games against Indiana. I think he averaged like 15 and 12 or something like that. Really good numbers. But I worry about the spacing when he's on the floor at the 4 spot.
But you're gonna have, I get you. But is it any different when we have Mitch at the 5 and I don't know, whoever we have at the 4? Hart. I mean, Hart spaces yeah. I guess I'm worried about.
I mean, I would say that it's not very different, but I would also say that those are the lineups that we've been hypercritical of, right? Those are the reasons why we didn't really want to see Robinson on the floor. At least that's my, the discourse that we've had. Those are the lineups that we've been the most uneasy about, right? Yeah. And so I think as far as it goes, I think it's more of a duplication with that. With him at the 4. So look, it's not going to be perfect any way that you slice it,
because those 3 guards are going to be undersized against the point guard, small forward, and shooting guard for Indiana anyway. I mean, if we start Deuce, they're just going to be undersized. But Ajay, just your thoughts on who you would start?
I would definitely start Precious Achiuwa at the 4. That doesn't mean that the Precious Achiuwa, that lineup would play the most minutes, but to start the game, I would start the game, pound for pound, and let it develop that way and have Deuce come off the bench. We probably at some point, when he comes off the bench, we probably have 3-guard lineup and try to play faster. But Indiana is a very fast team. We got to try to stay in front of them, and we got to put bodies in front of them. So far, Deuce have not have a lot of success playing the Pacers, so I wouldn't want to start him. I think it'd be unless he plays better, but I wouldn't want to start on the wrong foot, basically. So you want to start the game and at least stay level with them before you start experimenting with the 3-guard lineup.
So Precious would be playing Siakam.
Yes.
Hartenstein
Would be on Miles Turner.
And then Hart then would be playing Neesmith.
Yes.
Who plays the
right, and then DiVincenzo and
yeah, it's not perfect like Geoff said, because that helps us out defensively, but offensively it doesn't. We go with McBride, that helps us out offensively, and maybe we're okay. Maybe we're okay defensively. The thing with Siakam is,
Queen, I'm sorry, but we don't know that because McBride hasn't, against the Pacers, he hasn't come. You're hoping, but when you start Precious, I mean, the bulk of the offense is good. It's going to come from Brunson and DiVincenzo anyway, and probably Josh Hart. So you're not losing a whole lot by doing that. And a matter of fact, when you got Precious on there, you probably you grabbing more rebounds, so you're getting more opportunities. You know what I'm saying? So it's not really that much of a trade-off by having Deuce. You're not really getting. You don't know that you're getting more offense by doing that. I'm saying.
Yeah, because he hasn't been shooting the ball, well in this, in this series.
Yep.
Jerrell, I know earlier you said Precious, but I'm just giving you a chance to double down or change.
I'm a double down. I'm agree with Precious, mainly because of Siakam. I think we might have a Siakam problem if Josh Hart continues to be on him, especially the beginning of the game. With all the guys going down, I think Josh Hart needs to be protected at all costs now. Because if he gets in early foul trouble, then what do we do? Like, he's played 48 minutes, both of the games that we played the Pacers. So if Siakam gets him in foul trouble, say like in the first quarter, what do we do? And part of that, I like Deuce still coming off the bench, because then we won't have any guards other than Alec Burks to come off the bench. Like from a fresh standpoint, the Pacers have been pressing us all game. So we need at least one guard that can handle the ball. And at this point, I would count Deuce as a ball handler more than I would think Alec Burks is, because that's how Tibbs kind of plays them now compared to when Alec Burks was like the point guard a couple years ago.
Why are we not even talking about Shake Milton though?
Shake Milton played like 11 minutes in this. I mean, how many minutes has he played in the?
We need bodies. We have nobody.
The only reason I don't talk
go
about
that deep. You mean Burks and Shake? I don't think we're going that deep.
And / you don't know. Like, we don't know what Tibbs thinking. And like.
I guess maybe because
he's thinking the 7th player is getting 9 minutes.
Right.
That's exactly what he's thinking. Queen is on it. That's exactly what he's thinking.
Unfortunately and fortunately, we've been here before.
Right.
OG has been hurt before.
That's true.
When he got hurt, Precious got all the minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Julius Randle got hurt around the same time. Precious was getting all the minutes. So I expect Tibbs to do the same thing. Now, if he does start Deuce and everything that happens, like Geoff said, that actually makes sense too. That's not wrong. It's just that what I think Tibbs would do. I think he would start Precious.
But when OG was out, though, we did go with that basically a 4-out lineup. If you consider Josh Hart a guard around Hartenstein, it was because I think it started with Golden State where Deuce moved into the lineup and then he stayed there. And it was 4 guards and Hartenstein.
When OG got hurt?
By the way.
Yeah, he did that.
But OG and Randall got hurt at the same time, though.
No, the second time. The second time. I think after when he came back and he aggravated the elbow again. Then he sat a few games after that.
Okay, I got you.
That time, that's when he started. He started deuce.
Got you. Okay. Yeah, so I guess it could go either or. I think I'm more thinking about Precious starting because of Siakam and Josh Hart. Like I like Josh Hart being able to just running around like a madman and not just be stuck on Siakam, because I don't think he can guard him.
The thing with Siakam though that Josh Hart does do, he doesn't get deep on Josh Hart because Josh Hart is strong, but he can shoot right over the top.
Right over him.
He can shoot right over the top. But Siakam really hasn't been like, I know, Jerrell, you feel like he's just having bad games. I think the Knicks have had something to do with it. So I agree with you. There's been a few times where I've seen in game one, him shooting over OG. And I was saying this to Freezy. I'm like, yo, OG is getting killed by Siakam every time. Whenever but I don't remember the times when Siakam is not even getting the ball. Or the times when he's not even a focal point of the offense. I'm just looking at the few times he did get the ball and he scored over OG. He hasn't been a big factor in this game, in this series. And I think it has something to do with the Knicks. I don't think it's just him having a bad.
But when you say the Knicks, does that mean OG? Because we don't have him
OG,
anymore.
I think OG, Hart, I think, listen, you're not going to shut him down. Like, he's not going to, like score 8 points. You just don't want him to go for 30.
Right.
That's the thing.
Or if he goes for 30, make it on 27 shots. Right. Like, 12 for 30 or whatever, to get 30 points. Because, that you'll live with that. In other words, because if he's soaking up all that usage and he's inefficient, and then you would be okay with it, I would think.
Right.
Yeah. It's gonna be it's gonna be interesting. Your thoughts on, I would think Burks is entering the rotation.
He better,
because otherwise it'll just be 6. We would just be bringing Deuce off the bench.
We have a 6-man rotation. I might try to get Tibbs arrested. I'm trying to make a citizen's arrest. I might have to go down to Indiana. There's no way in the world that we should be playing 6 guys. I don't care who you got to play.
Right. But just your thoughts on Burks, or because we missed the OG as a big, would you rather see Sims?
To me, since we get pressed all game and JB is hurt, I would like both. To be honest, I think we should go with both of them. But, I don't think Tibbs is going to, so it's going to be Burks. He's going to get the bulk of the minutes over Sims, regardless of who's coming out and who's going in. Like, I don't imagine Sims playing in this series unless something, knock on wood, catastrophic happens.
Yeah. I would play Burks too. And
I could see a world, Jerrell. I could see a world, Jerrell, if they're starting Precious, where they give Sims like 10 backup minutes or 5 backup minutes, or at least some first half backup minutes at the 5, and just play 7 guys, and Burks not see the light of day. I could see that happening, because then you've got Deuce coming off the bench as your primary guard anyway, and I could definitely see that, he's gone heavy minutes with Precious before, 40 plus minutes. So I could see him just trying to steal a few minutes with Sims at the backup 5 spot, and then just playing 7 guys. He was Alec Burks played 30 seconds, and he missed the rotation, and he bricked an 18-footer. He is not on the happy list.
Hold on, Geoff. Let's be fair. He's been sitting on the bench for the entire series, and you expect him to knock. Like, let's be fair. He's an NBA player. I get it. He hasn't played well. He hasn't looked great since he's been here from Detroit. but he knows how to play. And if you're pressed into duty, you're pressed into duty. You know, he's the next guy up, particularly if Brunson doesn't play. If Brunson doesn't play, then
Well,
for
yeah,
sure.
if Brunson doesn't play, you have to have.
yeah,
we're not having this conversation if Brunson
right.
Yeah.
But I think he's somebody that can come in and give you a little something. Like, what are we asking him to do?
Yeah, because the Pacers don't play defense.
I mean,
But
we're
how
not
much
asking him to come
trust
here and
does he
drop
have from
30.
Thibodeau? That's my question.
How much
How
work you
much
said?
trust
Oh.
for as poorly as he's played since we've acquired him
Mm-hmm.
from Detroit, which is the entirety of his time, he's been bad. So how much trust do you think Thibodeau has in him right now? Because if he's not trusting him, he's not playing.
We shall see. But if you're asking me, I would prefer to see Alec Burke over Sims. If you're asking me.
I was going to say the trust might be low, but it seemed like he still would trust him more than Sims. If we're just going to go by what Tibbs does. It seemed like he don't like Sims. To me. Like it's like it has to be an absolute necessity for Sims to play. And that's not going by what I was saying before. I'm just talking about since that has happened, especially since we got Mitch back and Precious and stuff. It seemed like he would play Precious at the 4 and the 5 before he played Sims.
Right. And listen, I'm not saying just see. Just see. You know, Philly did it with Heald. You know, just see. I'm not saying you got to play him 30 minutes a game, but I'm saying where are we getting scoring from? Precious is not going to help us score. Sims is not going to help us score. McBride hasn't been scoring as of late, though I expect him to play. I expect him to play really well tomorrow, knowing we're shorthanded. Give the guy a shot. That's all I'm saying. 3-4 minutes just to see. Where else is the scoring coming from with OG out?
Well, if any team to put Burks in to see if he can score, it'll be the Pacers. They play defense like a high school team.
Yeah.
We scored 130 points last night.
That's true.
OG got hurt in the third quarter,
and Brunson
got hurt in the second.
Yeah,
and we still scored 100 in the first quarter.
In the first quarter, he didn't play the second at all.
Right, and we still scored 130 points. Us. So they don't play no damn defense over there. If anybody can get Burks going, it's their defense. That's what I'm saying. If it can happen.
We shall see. I think whoever the 7th player is, whether it's Burks or Sims, I don't even see them seeing more than 10 minutes.
Wow. So you think it's really going to be like 6.5? Or
maybe
6.25? How do you versus a team that presses all game? That's going to be tough.
Shake getting a couple of minutes. I don't know what y'all talking about.
Man. Shake will be with me, actually. I don't think Shake might as well be on my couch with me, man. I don't think he's gonna get no bird.
Yeah, I don't think so. And listen, Jalen Brunson probably won't be 100% even if he does play. Do you want him playing over 40 minutes?
Well, you already know how that goes. He's going to play as long as he wants to. How long that is,
he's gonna go.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how long that is, Tibbs isn't going to just take him out just to give him a breather. Let's just say that. I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we already know this, but the Knicks are just a different team when he's off the floor. I mean, like it's visible, just a different team. What's your thoughts on some Knick fans? And I'm not seeing a lot of this, but some Knick fans that, we're wearing the team down. We got to try to give guys a breather. This is contributing to injuries.
I'm laughing because you should see all of our faces as you're asking the question.
Yeah, it's like
all of us like, hey, yo, come on.
We still
even the minutes for.
we still talk about that. But Queen, okay, one, what are you saving the minutes for? Two, who are you playing? Who are you putting in?
Yeah, who you putting in?
Johnny Bryant? Like who?
Yeah, I don't get it.
Listen, Charlie Brown is in street clothes. He's so not getting any minute that he's not even suited up. Like who? There's nobody else. Like who are you putting in?
Yeah, that's
Who are they talking about?
Yeah, and the media pundits, Barkley, who I love as a player anyway. You can't be wearing them. I'm like, who is part of the? He's like, they got all of these injuries. You can't be playing these guys this many minutes. Well, it's who's left?
You sign him. Need to sign
who's
him.
left to play? Maybe with this Pacers team, you could steal minutes because they're not a really good defensive team. So maybe you could steal minutes. But they're going to be home, and they're down 0-2. They're going to be the energy in that place is going to be sky high. And the Knicks are a fighting team. Whatever lead they get out to, the Knicks are going to crawl and get themselves back into the game. But I'm just saying, and I think Tibbs is playing this tight to the vest. I think it was a Philly game, 4-5. Josh Hart picked up 4 fouls. Tibbs didn't even look to take him out he had 2 fouls.
I remember that.
That was the same game in which iHeart picked up 5. Tibbs is like,
okay,
foul out. I'm just give me what you got until you foul out the game.
Then iHeart had like five in a row, like 5 in that.
Yeah, in that third quarter. That was the same game that Hart got 4. He's like, listen, we can lose the game right here.
Yep.
Me getting people rest, trying to save them to the, to the fourth quarter. It's that type of series. The margin of error for the Knicks is super slim. Again, maybe with the Pacers, you can steal some minutes here and there because they'll allow you to get back in the game, but they're at home now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, and the dynamic of this series has been this: the Knicks race out to a big lead when the starters are in there, and then the Indiana bench players come in, and they either pull ahead, and then and then our starters come back in and catch up and outlast them in the fourth quarter. That's been the story of both games so far. I mean, so. It's our starting unit, whoever that 5 has been, the Nova boys mostly, but that's going to carry the day, and that's just going to have to be the way that it is. I mean, it's just how it is.
Yeah, I mean, anybody else have thoughts on that? People are like, oh, nobody else in the playoffs is playing teams 40 minutes. Who are you putting in? So you're going to take
down 5 rotation players either.
Nobody else is down 5 rotations. So you're going to take Josh Hart in and you're going to put in Charlie Brown. You're going to take Josh Hart out and you're going to put in Alec Burke. And then when the series is tied up 2-2, everybody wants to know what's Tibbs doing that we haven't been able to win the game. Because trust me, if you're playing these guys 36 minutes and the other 8 minutes are Burks and Sims and Charlie Brown and whatever, the Knicks would have been home already.
Yeah, he got blown out.
The Knicks would have been home already. We won that Philly series by 1 point. We scored 1 more point than the Philadelphia 76ers. I mean, come on. You can't have it both ways. You want to win the series or you want to rest.
Honestly, I don't think those people want to win the series. I think those people are pretending to be Knicks fans. They don't want us to win.
Win the series, then you can rest. Sweep them, and then you get some rest. That's the way you get some rest.
You have a few more days while Boston or the Cleveland, because we don't know who's getting through. Everybody assumes.
Well, but you would have a certain amount of rest because they're not starting the next round early. The next round is starting either the 19th or the 20th, whatever day that is. It's not like they did with the Minnesota Denver where they started them early and then they ended up with 4 days off. They won't be doing that. They'll, you know what I mean? If if you get out of it by Sunday, you will have a nice rest.
And Boston lost tonight.
Yeah, I saw that.
Really?
And
Yeah.
not lost.
Yeah.
Like they wiped the floor with them. It was the Cavs was up by almost 30 points at some point.
Let me tell you, Donovan Mitchell,
Whew.
Beast.
he's been killing. He's the only reason they won that Orlando game 6, 50. Game 7, I forgot how many he scored in the in the second half.
Yeah. Whew.
Yeah.
Yep.
He was great in game 1. He was the only one who showed up for Cleveland in game 1. I mean, he was great in game 1. He literally by himself in game 1 against Boston. He was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. What was I gonna say? Anybody else commenting? Did you, Ajay, your opinion on the whole minutes thing?
Oh yeah, I think I was the first one to completely say
Yeah.
who they playing.
We thought he was talking, but it was nonverbal.
Right.
There was a little bit of that too. While
Right.
you was asking the question, I was making all kind of gestures.
Yeah, everybody was like, "Hey, yo," like everybody feel the same way. Like it's just a crazy topic right now.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know who those people are talking, but it's funny that people in the media too are saying this. Like guys who played ball are saying this. They're all over the place. We'll talk about that later.
I was watching
Media.
NBA TV, and what's the coach who used to coach for Toronto? Sam Mitchell. Sam Mitchell is like, he said, I don't understand what people are complaining about. You're not practicing the next day. He said there's no player complaining that they're playing 48 minutes or 46 minutes or 44 minutes. Now, if you're playing those many minutes, and D. Scott brought this up, he said this is how Tibbs has changed, because you used to play those type of minutes and have a 2-hour practice the next day. He said now you're playing those minutes and then you're not practicing at all the next day. So for me, the big thing is the recovery. Are the Knicks getting the recovery they need? Jerrell, you was going to say something?
I was just going to having a 2-hour practice the day after that is nuts. They probably got the union on Tibbs.
Right.
Like
That's doing that.
Right. That's an NBA organization. All that is because of Tibbs.
Right.
He learned that from Pat Riley, though.
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did.
I mean, it's not.
That
He didn't
whole
invent it.
tree. Clifford,
All of
Van
them.
Gundy, that whole tree.
Yeah, man, Pat don't play, man. He still don't play. Y'all heard him in the press conference, some of the stuff that he was saying. told Jimmy to shut up and everything.
Yep,
don't
I
care.
saw that.
He don't care, man. That's why I actually like Pat Riley.
I like Pat Riley too.
He's become our rival, obviously, but he was our coach at one point, and he's one of the reasons that we were tough in the 90s like that.
Yeah. And Tibbs reminds me of Pat Riley, because they say the same thing 40 years later. It seems like they saying the same thing in the press, in the pregame, postgame, pretty much the same thing. All right, let's go through some of the players real quick. Just your thoughts on them. We only got 3 players playing, so it shouldn't take a
I was
long.
about to say, there's that many of them. Go ahead. You can roll the dice. Just pick one.
It should take a long time to go through it. Let's just start with the head of the snake, Brunson, and just how he's been playing through these first 2 games. And are you surprised? I guess we can't say we're surprised anymore. But to me, I'm just in awe. Like every series, every challenge, whatever they're throwing at him, he's figuring it out. Ajay, Geoff, then Jerrell, just thoughts on Brunson.
Queen. So I think today they released the MVP vote counts or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing to me that he got like the votes that he got for him, for nobody, like there was 0 like first MVP vote. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It was insane. It's insane to me, because I don't know the criteria they use, but Maybe they should change that award to something else, but most valuable player. Like, who's most valuable to your team, right? And we say it all the time here, right? Denver, Jokic he's got other guys with him. Brunson, he doesn't have. It's like a ragtag team of guys, and no disrespect to them because those guys are playing their hearts out, but they're not considered, stars or superstars. Or those are guys who just do one thing and one thing only. They're really good at one thing, and then they stay focused on that thing. They try to perfect it, become perfect at doing it, right? And it's amazing to me that he's not getting that recognition.
But he was in 5th place though in MVP voting.
That's too low.
Oh, okay.
That's my point.
There was a time in the season he wasn't even on the top 10, as far as the ladders were concerned, even though those were media. Well, media,
yeah, and especially
MVP too.
Especially for his size, he should be considered even more than Jokic, who's like 7 foot or whatever he is. You notice that's a little guy. At some point, he's triple teamed. I mean, they're ambush blitzing him. He's finding a way to get out of it and get his guys involved. And it's amazing that he's not getting enough recognition. In the good sense of recognition, they recognize it, but instead of saying this guy, instead of hailing him as as important as he is to the Knicks, they're trying to figure out how to stop him. Everybody, they try to tell Coach Carlisle what to do. So it's amazing. But in terms of his play, I mean, he's been nothing short of amazing. In yesterday's game, if he wasn't out for a quarter and a half, he'd have another 40 piece. I mean, easily. Yeah. So and he, for all the guys, all the fans complaining that he's a ball hog, he's not. I mean, he's distributing the ball. He shoots the ball when he has to. He takes over when he has to, when it needs to be done, right? When he needs to get his guys involved, like he does that. When he's grabbing rebound, he's trying to play defense, taking charge. He's doing everything out there. I don't understand how they saying he's not a team player. And I've seen that a couple of places that, he's trying to play hero ball. Well, you know what? He is Ben.
We need it.
Yeah.
We need a hero.
He's the hero. So the heroes play hero ball. That's what he does.
That's exactly right.
That's exactly what we need right now.
So, I mean, listen, his play's been nothing short of amazing.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I had a question for you.
No, I mean, before that, and right before I came on, I was watching something on NBA.com because I always check these things just to get my blood boiling a little bit. Because they just so the NBA.com had an article like 3 players who are killing it in the playoffs. Ant-Man, deservingly so. I mean, he's insane. That guy, forget it. Shea and Luka. No mention of Brunson. I mean, in the East, Jalen Brunson has been deep.
Hasn't even been playing that great, at least in this series so far. I don't think he's 100%.
Who?
Luka.
Neither has SGA. SGA hasn't been playing extremely well in the playoffs altogether. I mean, Brunson's been killing in the East. He's the best player in the East right now in the playoffs. But no mention of him at all. So I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's been amazing. No, go ahead with the question.
The question I have for you, and when Geoff and Jerrell, when you talk about Brunson, you can answer it as well. Any concern that they may switch up the lineups because Carlisle was getting a lot of heat for not closing the game without McConnell. And I saw his press conference. Oh, that team that closes, they deserve to close the game. They've been closing, all season. I guess I can use the word concern for you, Ajay, because you've been concerned all season that if McConnell plays more, all series, I should say, more minutes, that Brunson won't be as effective and that he might be able to slow him down?
No, and I'll tell you why. So Jalen Brunson, he's a very high IQ guy. He's gonna figure out. And right now, with all the talk and all the media, I'm pretty sure Tibbs and his staff are figuring out a way to make Brunson more effective against McConnell. They're probably gonna switch, a couple of like 2-3 screens just to free him up from McConnell. They're gonna create the space for him. And another thing they could do is get McConnell in foul trouble.
Mm.
That's another thing. Get him a couple of fouls, real quick, and get him to sit down a little bit. I mean, there's so many ways to do that. They haven't had to, because I mean they're winning the games, but I'm sure they're in the lab figuring it out. While the Pacers are putting tapes together, 78 foul calls to send to the NBA, the Knicks are over there trying to figure out how to make McConnell less effective.
Yeah, offensively as well. I hope they're working on that.
Yeah.
Also,
and not just him too. We can't allow Obi Toppin's not going to be giving us 20 points, man. Well, what is this? We know that guy. Why is Obi Toppin scoring 20 points? In a playoff game. We need to stop this nonsense. We need to get our defense, up to par. So we can't be losing to those two guys. So I'm sure they figure it out.
Yeah. All right. We got 9 more. We got 8 more players. So we're going to go around, but we're going to start with Geoff and then Jerrell. Just thoughts on Brunson. And then if you want to comment on them playing McConnell more.
Yeah, play McConnell more. I think they have to play him, he and Halliburton together. I think you got to find a way to get those two on the floor at the same time. As far as stopping Brunson, I don't think that's going to matter. Jalen is so smart. He's going to get to his spots. They don't have anybody who can guard him. They don't have – Kevin Bergen said it perfectly. Nobody on the Pacers can stop him. They just can't do it. I mean, maybe they can slow him down for possession. They can't stop him. They can't stop him. I don't know if anybody can stop him. I mean, Philly did a great job against him, and he was dropping 40 and 5 like it was going on. Like, he's doing stuff that nobody's ever done. Like, Michael Jordan didn't do it. LeBron James didn't do it. Like, Oscar Robertson didn't do it. So, like, yeah, you can't stop Jalen Brunson. The only thing that can stop Jalen Brunson is his foot.
Okay. Jerrell, just your thoughts on his play in these first 2 games and, any adjustments they may make?
Yeah, 5th in the MVP. I think he was the highest ranked American player in the MVP voting, even though he's not on the team. I just wanted to bring that up real quick. I mean, put some respect on my point guard's name. Yeah, and with the TJ McConnell stuff, I think he cooked him just as much as he cooked Hart. It just looks, tougher because for some reason they
gotta work harder to do it. But
that's just got to work hard. But he still cooked him just like he cooked everybody else. And one thing I don't like, the refs let TJ McConnell get away with a lot of bumping and hand checking as he hand checking been out of the NBA for a very long time, but for some reason they get to do it against Jalen Brunson for some reason. Yeah. I don't know why, but yeah, I don't really.
Why?
Well, yeah, but McConnell actually bothers me on offense when he does on defense. He's been killing us on offense way more than the defense. Yeah. The defensive piece, I don't think he's frustrating Jalen Brunson at all. I think he's been efficient against him, but on offense, like, we can't keep him out of the lane to save our life for some reason. I don't know why, but it's not working. Like, we have to do something about that because Nembhard, he doesn't go to the basket all the time. So TJ, like, he knows how to read a defense and he gets in there rather easily. Like, he's been doing that a lot, and he's the shortest person on the court, and he's still just making layups. It's not like he's going in there dunking on anybody. Right. He's not a jump shooter. Why is he scoring points? If he's the shortest,
why is he scoring points?
That doesn't make it makes no sense against us because we're a good defensive team. So
he's a good finisher, though.
Yes, he is.
Finisher, 18 feet away and inside the paint.
Yeah, but at the time
whoever's guarding him,
right? Why is he going right past him?
I mean, right
past him.
I watched the second half. The second half today. I'm like, it's like nobody's guarding him at all.
Like, I was like, what is up with Deuce? Like, he's just going by Deuce. He was going by Brunson. He was going by down to DiVincenzo, it didn't matter. Like nobody could stay in front of TJ McConnell all of a sudden. But yeah, of course, Jalen Brunson is going to be disrespected, nationally with the MVP votes. He's our point guard, man. I don't know what else to say about him.
Yeah, I think fifth is disrespect.
Fifth is not disrespect, but he should have been higher than fifth. I don't think it's disrespectful. No,
That's all I'm
being
saying.
fifth is being fifth is not disrespectful by any means to me in the NBA, but he should have gotten at least a few more first place votes, maybe top 3. I wouldn't mind that, but do I think he would have won it? No, I don't think he was going to win it anyway.
No.
But yeah, I wouldn't say fifth is disrespectful.
Yeah,
keeping them off the USA team is disrespectful.
Yeah, but to me, that team they don't go for the best players. They're looking for fit, and Halliburton, is more of a passer, so I can see them. Brunson is more of a scorer, so I can see them saying, "Oh, we got enough scorers. We need point guards who's pass first." Though I think in that situation, Brunson would be pass first. I think he's scoring for us because
Yes,
the only one
we need him to.
Right. To me, it seemed like I would, if I'm on the USA team and I'm trying to win a gold medal, I want somebody who does the better of both.
Mm.
And the person who's playing better against him in the playoffs right now. But we'll see.
And outplayed Donovan Mitchell 2 years in a row, by the way, in case you were keeping track at home.
Yes, it seems though ever since he's been going to the playoffs for the last 3 seasons, he's played better than his counterpart in every series.
The only person who could stop him was Rick Carlisle, and that was when Carlisle was his coach because he benched him.
Right.
And he may not have been as good as he is now then, though. Yeah. All right, let's move on to Hart, who's, I mean, you can argue OG, but I would say Hart has been the second best player in the entire playoffs, not just these 2 games. He has been phenomenal. He does get me a little nervous when he's handling the not going coast to coast. He does that really well. But everything is high speed. It's like he's throwing us a speed ball. Boom. I'm like, relax. Like whenever he gets the ball, he's jumping up. He's looking for something. I'm like, yo, relax. What are you doing? And that's what I'm doing in my locker room, in the living room. I'm standing up when he has the ball. Relax. Hart, relax.
Some people can't turn that off, Steph. You can't turn it off, though.
Yeah, you're right. He just plays at that speed, which is great in transition. Don't get me wrong. I love it. But otherwise, I'm like, yo, you need to calm down. but he's doing everything for scoring and rebounding, assists. Yeah, just talk to me about Josh Hart. Ajay, Jerrell, and Geoff.
I mean, he's like an airplane got many engines, and he's one of them. And I don't want to say he's the engine because you have other guys. Doesn't show the kind of energy that he does, but the team rely on a lot of those guys, and Josh Hart is definitely one of them. And in the playoffs, there's something he's done that, I mean, so the intensity on the hustle plays and on the rebounding has not dropped, and matter of fact has increased, but also his scoring has went up. So he's taking more shots. And Queen, we talk many times during the season, and one of the things I told you is like I'm really annoyed with Josh Hart passing on those shots.
Right,
he's taking those shots right now. Listen, you can't make it if you don't take it. It's best you take it, especially with the shot clock winding down. A few times throughout the season, we had shot clock violation because Josh Hart wouldn't take a shot. Take the shot, man. Take it. We're a good rebounding team. You miss it, chances are we'll get the rebounds. We get 14 more seconds to try another one. So he's improved in that he's taking more shots, and of course he's making them. Right. So his scoring went up a lot. And his rebounding and the hustle plays, I mean, everything is just his defense. Like, And when they switch, no matter who he's guarding, he's putting the effort. Like he's out there. And same DiVincenzo too. There's a couple of games in the last. There's a couple of games in the last against Philly. DiVincenzo didn't show up defensively, but he stepped up a notch since that game 6 or whatever that was. I mean, he's been playing defense.
But again, you playing against Indy. You know, he probably out there like, whoo! I ain't never seen this much space.
Yep.
You know, but Jerrell, your thoughts on Hart? Sorry.
Before one more thing I want to say, right?
Mm-hmm.
I saw online somewhere, and you know, these things, they randomly pop up, right? Somebody, OB had a 20-point game yesterday. All of a sudden, somebody was like, oh, we gave that away. Well, I mean, Obi would have been starting in place of Josh Hart or something like that, right? Would you rather have Obi or Josh Hart at this point? I mean, I don't even think it's debatable. Josh Hart is,
we don't have Dante DiVincenzo if we keep Obi Toppin.
No, I'm saying
just that money.
No, without even analyzing, just compare them pound for pound. I think you know. I would rather have Josh Hart on the team right now than Obi Toppin, because the effort, not just the points, the effort and everything else he's giving you is much more valuable than Obi Toppin would give us. So whoever that was online that randomly popped up on my phone, that's your answer to that question.
Okay. All right. Moving right along, he takes our limited minutes to do a PSA for Hart. But
AJ Craig. How you talking junk to random people that showed up on your side?
Because they randomly show up.
That's their fault. Josh Hart, man, like we used to, obviously Jalen Brunson is our MVP, but Josh Hart isn't that far behind him. He just does different stuff. Like he hasn't sat a minute in the playoffs yet.
And he don't even look like he's wearing down in his 46th minute.
Right. Like he looks like just as fresh. Well, not every game. Mm-hmm. Because there has been some games that he has looked a little worn down in the fourth quarter, but lately, these past 2 games against the Pacers, he hasn't. He looked just as fresh as he did in the fourth as he did in the first. Josh Hart is our MVP, like 1B. Like he's really not that far behind, man. Like last night, what he had 19 and 15, but almost 10 assists. Like I know he didn't get a triple double, but he was close. He had 7 and 8. I'm not looking at the stats. 7. So what? 19, 15, and 7. 48 minutes, and he a 6'4" guard. Like it's almost what else is there to say about him? Like he's been playing phenomenally. Like if Jalen Brunson wasn't playing as well as he's playing, Josh Hart would be our MVP right now.
Yeah,
because he is the reason why we are winning games. It's not just Jalen Brunson. Josh Hart is a huge part of that. Like I'm not talking about scoring. I'm just talking about like offensive rebounds. He's getting some of those. Like all the stuff that we talk about, Hart and Mitch, Precious get a lot of offensive rebounds. Josh Hart almost gets just as many as they do now, and he's only 6'4".
Yeah.
So like it's almost I can't say enough about him. Like he's been our MVP 1B.
Yeah. I don't disagree with that. I agree with that, Geoff.
Well, a couple things. First of all, I'm not into cursing and foul language, but what he did to Reggie Miller, I gotta salute that, man. That was hilarious. That on the broadcast, I can't believe the broadcast picked that up.
He was smiling and
but let me say this. So I've been thinking about this a lot. So during this postseason, Josh Hart is averaging 18 points, 12 and 3/4 rebounds, and 5 assists, 5 1/4 assists per game. Whose stat line does that sound kind of similar to? Julius Randle, maybe?
Randle, yeah.
Right? Now, he's not the scorer that Julius is, and he doesn't have the gravity and all of that stuff. That he's not the same player. But back in February, somebody a lot smarter than me, who just happens to be just north of me in the picture screen, said that we were going to need someone to step up and fill that production. Who's going to score? Who's going to rebound? Who's going to play make? The answer is Josh Hart.
Yeah.
Because he's done it all. and he's, you know, it's one thing for, you know, we always talk about what you do in the regular season is nice. What are you doing in the postseason? He stepped up his game in the postseason. And
everybody but Ajay thinks like that, Geoff. But yeah.
Oh, okay. You're right. You're right. But he stepped it up in this postseason, and you know, I know he makes you nervous when he gets that ball, but it's really that they blitz in Brunson and he has that ball in the 4-on-3 and he's attacking and he gets the ball and he attacks and you know, you don't have to see his 48-minute stats because you just look at his stat line because you know he's playing 48 minutes. So you know you know what his 48-minute average is because that's what he's playing. It's unreal how, I mean, he really is a throwback. I don't like, this is a guy who, stupid me, was saying that he's better off playing 20, 25 minutes a game. That's his perfect role. I remember saying that on this show. And that seems just like such an underuse of him right now. And it's not fair, but if you think about it, this is a guy who's probably going to be relegated to the bench next season. And as Jerrell rightly said, he's been our second best player. And not only has he been our second best player, if you look around the league at the second best players on teams, he's been as good as any of them. Like, think about it. He's 18, 12, and 5, and he's a 6'4" guard with 12 rebounds a game. I think he has more total rebounds than almost everybody in the playoffs. That's incredible.
It is.
I mean, he's relentless. He's phenomenal. And the fact that he plays 48 minutes and he still is able to make the extra effort plays in the last 2-3 minutes the way that he does and outwork everybody even then is even more phenomenal to me. Like, how that, like, it's so, like, he just epitomizes this Knick team. It doesn't even seem possible what he's doing, and yet he's doing it. Like, that's the story of this Knick playoff run, and he's just epitomized that. And, you know, this is the same guy who 25 games in, we're like, what are we doing paying this guy $20 million a year? You know, I remember having that conversation, a serious conversation in this panel and in the chat.
Right.
Just, you know, because he looked like he was a step slow. He's like, where's all the hustle? He looked like he was burnt out or whatever. I don't know what the reason behind it is. He looks like a completely different player now. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because his role is more secure, or like he knows he's going to play 48 and he's asking for it. Like, he's begging for it. It's like, I don't want to come out, coach. You got me in for 48. I'm ready.
Right.
Like, that's not the mentality of the modern player. Like, that's 90s Knicks. I mean, that's, you know, he's terrific. I just marvel at the job that he's done. Yeah,
for sure. We move. Let's we what 10:29, 10:27. All right, let's do Devo and then Hartenstein. Devo, you know, made some big shots in that Philly series. Don't get me wrong, but he's just really shining in this series against Indiana. Just what are you seeing from him? We'll start with you, Jerrell, Geoff, and then Ajay.
Well, Dante has definitely stepped up. The shots are falling. For the most part, that's what we need him for. His defense has stepped up a little bit, but as long as that shot falls, Dante DiVincenzo is okay with me. Like, that's all we need him to do, man. Like, he made me a little mad last night, though, late in the fourth quarter when he shot that three. It was less than a minute left.
What are you doing?
I was like, the Pacers defense.
Got a new shot clock.
I was like, their defense ain't that bad. That don't mean that don't mean you just throw it up there like that. But I understand it from a confident shooter's perspective because he was wide open.
Yeah.
I don't know if he knew exactly how much time was on the clock. Maybe that's what it was. But to me, it was like a confidence thing. I remember he said it in the press conference, like he's ultimate confidence right now. Every time he shoots a shot, he thinks it's going in.
Okay.
I need that from my two guard.
Yeah.
That's what we've been waiting for We need we need somebody with confidence that will shoot as soon as they hit their hands. If they're open, they're going to let it go. I don't care where he's at on the court.
Yeah. Is that a slight to Q Dot?
Yes.
I caught it.
Yes, it is. Yeah, Dante DiVincenzo is obviously he's been doing his thing.
Yeah, no doubt. Geoff, just your thoughts on Dante these first 2 games?
He's been fantastic. All around game, terrific too. I mean, not
All
just
around.
like all around. His defensive effort has been good. I just like the way that he's playing. He really is. I don't know. He's 6 of 12 from 3 the other night. I think he was like that's awesome. And he has such range. Like, you know, in game 1 was a 28-footer, right? It's like
right.
No problem.
Like it wasn't nothing.
Yeah, I mean, just confident, just really good. Again, and I think of just a worthwhile investment. He fits the culture of this team, you know. And here's a guy who you know, at one point in the Philly series, he got his minutes cut. Right, he had a couple games where, I mean, when Deuce was on fire, who was it that took a seat pretty much on the bench at that time? It was Dante.
Right.
He didn't complain. He just stayed ready. He had probably 2 or 3 clunkers from the field in that series.
Mm-hmm.
But then as it moved along, when we needed him the most, he rose to the occasion, and he's been really good now. And I don't think we win without him having a big game. If we're going to win this series, he's going to have to be a 20-point a game scorer for us, because there's not anybody else. I mean, we need, you know, we need big offense from him. So keep shooting it.
Yeah. Ajay?
So my thing with DiVincenzo is, because, you know, like he'll have a stretch of 10 good games where he's crazy, and then 2 bad games, right? Unfortunately for the Pacers, he had those 2 bad games with Philly. So he's that stretch of 10 games where he's scoring was off the charts is like right in the middle of the Pacers series. So I'm looking for the DiVincenzo to have like this entire series to shoot the ball well. And he's playing defense. He's playing very good defense, and he's going for the rebounds. He's going for the steal.
He's driving to the basket.
Yep. You know, the pump fake and going to the basket. He's doing all that. You know, all the putbacks. I mean, he had a crazy putback in yesterday's game. Actually, and matter of fact, the play where OG hurt his hamstring. You know, he fell out of bounds. The ball somehow bounced off of Josh Hart, and he was right there for the putback. So, listen, these guys are playing well, man. I don't understand. Like, they're shorthanded, but it seems like every time one of them go down, the other one, like, they become closer and closer to being bionic. All them young kids. I hope them young kids. Well, we have an older crowd in here anyway. Some 89-year-old or whatever. So they know what the bionic is.
All right, let's move on to Hartenstein, who I think this is definitely a better matchup. Listen, this is a better matchup for any center in the league than Embiid. You know what I mean? You know, last night, you know, we ran the offense through him some, particularly when Brunson was out. I'm not sure what they went away from the pick and roll, which was hurting us, I thought, in the first game, because Hart was double teaming and Turner was just rolling to the basket with no rotation. And I didn't see a lot of pick and rolls last night at all, which I think helped us. Hartenstein, just your thoughts on that. Geoff, Ajay, Jerrell?
He's been phenomenal. Defensively incredible, keeps balls alive, dives on the floor, does everything that you want him to do. I love the 8 assists. I mean, just the playmaking, just all around, just terrific. And the thing about it is, you know, Embiid is just, I mean, he's a tough matchup for everybody, but especially I think he can just overpower Hartenstein in a way that Miles Turner just can't, you know, and Turner, Turner's not gonna be able to dominate on the block against him, and he's kind of a perfect foil for Turner on offense, because Turner doesn't really want to get away from the basket at all. So you can put him at the elbow and make them make a decision. And then how many times did we see the Knicks have those cuts to the basket, either by DiVincenzo or Anunoby, that were all opened up because they're blitzing Brunson, quick pass to the middle, Hartenstein finds the open guy and get an easy bucket.
Right.
That's why we shot 57%, because we were getting great looks, because and Hartenstein was a massive part of that. I mean, he just cut the check. That's all I'm going to say about it.
AJ?
I agree with Geoff 100%, man. Listen, get that man paid. We got to keep that guy, the activity, the level of activity. All these guys are playing with great energy, Queen. This is what's insane with this team. You figure, these guys are going down, and then somebody else stepping up and playing with more. You got to remember, he's not 100% healthy. He's still got that hamstring that they have to manage.
That Achilles you talking about?
Yeah, I'm sorry. The hamstring, yeah, the Achilles. Yeah,
knock on wood, right?
They still got to manage that. They still have to, do treatment and do all kind of stuff in the background on their off days. And he's playing. I mean, he's playing like he has no problem. Like there's nothing going on. He's going all out. I like the effort that he puts on defense whenever he can. I mean, Joel Embiid had his number, but when Embiid was off the floor, he was playing pretty good defense. Let's not forget that block on Maxey, that game-saving block on Maxey. Whatever game that was, game 4. I don't know what game that was. But he's putting the effort. As a matter of fact, that third quarter, we had 5 fouls, is because he was trying to play defense. He's trying to look too hard and being too aggressive, but that was still him trying. So he's not just standing there and just being a traffic cone. He's grabbing rebounds. He's making the pass. He's making a play. And that little shot that he got. I don't know. I mean, that thing.
I love that little push shot.
It's a push shot. Floater. I don't even know if it's a floater.
I don't even know what that thing is.
Push shot.
But he's like mastered it, man. It's almost automatic. It's in the Philly series. That thing was. I mean, it was automatic.
When he missed, I'm like, wow, he missed that.
I know exactly. Because you expect it to go in, But listen, man. Shout out to our guys, man. They playing their hearts out.
For sure. Jerrell, any thoughts on Hartenstein?
Steph, how long we been asking Isaiah Hartenstein to do what he did last night with the ball in his hand and him running the offense? We've been asking for that for like 2 years now.
Yeah, at least preseason, if not longer.
Yeah,
I think into last year.
Yeah, last year too. We've been asking for 2 years now because we know he's capable of doing that. Like he almost had a triple-double last night, just by doing that, just by standing right there and having everybody cut, and he feed them going to the basket. So yes, Heart. We have multiple MVPs. He's like 1C now.
Okay. All right. Let's quickly go on to OG now, who played out of his mind in the first half yesterday. I think he had 22 or something.
28 points.
28.
Total for the game, 28 points.
28 for the game, but like 22 or something like that in the first half. Yeah. And he's showing stuff on the offense. I'm like, the Knicks must be working with him in season. Like, we can't even wait to get off season. Look, come over here. Just do this right here. Let's work on this real quick after practice, and you can put this in the game next week. You know what I mean? He's just super confident, going to the basket, laying it up, dunking, the mid-range shot, the three-point shot. I mean, if he puts in the work this season, he could be a 3-level scorer.
Yep.
He can be a 3-level scorer. He already has the mid-range and the three-point shot.
Mm-hmm.
And he's finishing he's snaking through to the basket, So listen, he's out for game 3, maybe even the rest of this series. Who knows? But just your thoughts on him through 2 games. Ajay, we'll start with you.
Everything you mentioned, plus the defense.
Plus the defense.
The defense, there's no drop in the defense. And I like you say that all the time, Queen. Like not even the player he's guarding. He's over here in the corner minding his business, and the balls that he
roll that arm out like
yeah.
What's that Marvel character back in the day? Stretch Man, like when we were kids.
That's Armstrong.
Yeah, he stretches arm out. Plastic Man. I call it the gorilla arms, because the arms are like so long, man. He just like go out there like, he doesn't even have to like. He looks like he's out of the play. He looks like he's out of the play. That strip on Hartenstein, not Hartenstein, on Halliburton in game 1 was clean. He didn't even look like he was in the area.
Yeah. Right. And that's it kills the guy with the ball, because they can't judge how long his arms are. They don't realize how long his arms are. In yesterday's game, so you could see him like Brunson went down. He's like, wait a minute, I have free reign. Like, you mean it's my turn? And then he took off. He was basically unstoppable. Like he just scored every time, from that point on. So
he's another one like Devo. Like, wow, you feel that breeze? Like, you guys, a lot of room in here.
Yeah. And like you said, man, over this, if this guy could stay healthy, man, we got one, man. We got a good one. A real, not even 3-and-D, because he's more than 3-and-D.
At this
he can do a lot more.
Yeah.
He grabbed the rebound. He doesn't grab a lot of rebound, but when he does, he bring the ball up. He has no problem bringing it up and setting it up. We got one.
Yeah, and he's smart too.
He's smart.
Jerrell?
Obviously, OG Anunoby is. He might be the best defensive wing in the league. Not naming like Kawhi Leonard, not like obvious. You know what I'm saying? But offensively, I'm not sure if he'll be confident like that all the time. Like he usually isn't. But like you said, Steph, maybe they'll work on him in the offseason to work on that confidence.
They're working with him now.
Yeah,
staying after practice.
When they actually do practice.
Right. Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, but he had a great game, obviously, before he went down. There's nothing I can really say about OG, but he obviously is injury prone. Hopefully he can. They say it's a hamstring strain. Usually strains, it seems like he might be like out for a month. I hope he's not. I don't want to see I brought the room down just that fast.
I know. I hope not.
But I'm just trying to be honest, and how he walked off and how hamstrings usually go, I don't expect him for the rest of this series at least. But I do expect us to get to the next one. So hopefully he can come back in the beginning or the middle of the next series.
So even without OG, you think we'll get through?
Yeah, my thing say Knicks in 5. I wrote that before the show started.
Without OG, Knicks
I wrote that when we came in here tonight. It's still Knicks in 5 for me.
Okay, all right.
We had OG and it said Knicks in 4.
Yeah, I said 3. I said 3. They might have not even played that 4th game.
They just canceled after 3.
Yeah, for what?
I know. With OG Queen, like you giving him 5?
Right.
Yeah, with OG, yeah.
I'm like, the Knicks are winning in 4 or 5, max 5 games. Breezy said 3.5.
Same thing.
Winning the 3.5 games.
Because they're gonna probably quit after the halfway through that last one.
Yeah. Geoff?
Oh man, I'm just heartbroken over that injury. It's just back to square one. Story of his career, though. Really, I mean, just
absolutely right.
Hyper talented, just one of the best defenders in the NBA. Has all kinds of skill and potential on the offensive end, and just, I mean, you want to talk about a piece that fit perfectly, like the skeleton key that unlocked so many things for this team. I mean, he's great when he's healthy. Again, cut the check. Cut the check. You got to re-sign him.
Yeah. And just expect 60 games or 65. Like that's just.
I want to say 55. We're gonna be like 50-5 in those 55 though. So
that's right though.
Freezy said that one time. Freezy like, look, if he plays 62 games, if the Knicks can't win 20 games without OG, you know. So all right. Last but not least, you know, let's talk about McBride, who was phenomenal in the Philly series. Not too much in this series. For me, though, I just feel like he's a young player. This is what happens with young players. They're up and down. They'll have a good game, not have a good game, have a good series, not have a good series. It's their first time seeing it, you know. But it's unfortunate, given all the injuries. We need him to be better. And I hate saying that, you know. He's thrust into this role where we need him to be better. And if you're not going to be better offensively, Deuce McBride, defensively, that's your calling card. McConnell should not be cutting you up. I'm just, you know, I'm sorry. Now, make it hard for him. Like he's making it hard for Brunson. You make it hard for McConnell. If he scores, he scores, but make it hard. That's all I'm saying. Jerrell, we'll start with you. Just your thoughts on McBride through these first two games.
Yeah,
Geoff, then Ajay.
Unfortunately, like you said, we have to count on Deuce. He shouldn't be in this position right now, to be honest. He hasn't been in the league that long. Even though we were in the playoffs last year, he didn't hardly play that much because of the inexperience. So we already know how Tibbs is. But yeah, we have to rely on Deuce's minutes. Like he has to be a scorer. He has to play defense, like you said, like he's been throughout the year. And we need him right now. Like he's one of the 7. We have like 7 players that is going to play. I don't think Tibbs is going to go 8. I think is, you know, off the bench, like we said, it's going to be Burks and McBride, and that's it, unless it's Burks and Precious, like we talked about who was going to start before. But yeah, Deuce, unfortunately, he's been put in a position that we need him. How he's going to do for the rest of the series, I have no idea, because role players usually don't play well on the road, but we just need to get one. I already told you we only need to get one of these games. So hopefully Deuce can light it up for at least one game he can play well.
Right. Geoff, then Ajay.
Come on, Deuce. I'm rooting for you, buddy.
Come on, Deuce. Rolling that dice. Come on, baby.
We need it. We need it. He's capable. And like I said, the last 3 games for him have just been tough. So I just want to see him, you know, get that swagger back, that confidence that, you know, he's just, and I don't know that it's completely his fault, but we got to figure something out. I don't know what it is, but he needs to be better on McConnell. We're going to need him to make some shots. I mean, he's got to step up and fill a role. I mean, everybody's got, you know, and he can do it. He's more than capable of it. And usually when he gets more minutes, he tends to play better, right? You know, if you look at his career, when he gets 20, 25 minutes a game, he usually, you know, plays pretty well. Again, I think he's pressing up on McConnell a little bit too much. I think if we can get him to play off of TJ just a little bit, because TJ wants to get downhill, right? If he can get downhill, he's kind of like Brunson. He's just, you get that head of steam, he's impossible to stop. But he's not a shooter. He's not someone who wants to take a bunch of shots. Not that he's incapable. He shoots at a good percentage, but he's not going to take 7 threes in a game. That's not going to be TJ McConnell. So,
I think it's the mid-range, right? His game is more than mid-range.
And the driving to the basket.
Yeah, and driving to the basket, and then he's able to make plays for others when he breaks it down in there. I mean, I think he had 12 assists. Yeah, right. Something crazy like that. I mean, so we got to find a way to prevent that dribble penetration, whatever that might be. You know, and I think just in general, Indiana team isn't one that we should have to be doing a lot of double teaming for. you know, and they move the ball so well anyway. It's tough to play defense because it does pop, right? They play a beautiful brand of basketball. The ball moves, they get good shots. I don't know that this is a team that you're going to be able to hold under 115. I just don't know that you can do that. Like, I don't know that that's like, I know from being a Knicks fan and from being Patrick Ewing era, I want, scores in the 80s. That's fine with me, but you're not going to do that against us. They're too skilled. They have too many weapons. They have too many 3-point shooters. They move the ball with the pass better than anybody. They're like one of the top 2 most efficient offenses like of all time or something crazy like that. Like, that's how crisp that they've been. But
they have to be, Geoff, because they don't have anybody that can create their own shot. So they have to move the ball and move their bodies. That's how they generate shots.
Right. And so stay at home on your guy, keep your guy in front of you, and don't double. That's what I'm saying. When you're throwing a double team at these guys, that they just pop, and then you get in the wide open corner threes. To me, just single cover everybody, do the best you can with it, and look, you're not gonna, especially at home. I think you're gonna have to score 120 to beat them. I think that's just the way that it's gonna be.
That's going to be tough. Listen, we got 130, but OG dropped 28 before he left. You know what I mean?
I think Geoff is right about the 120. Like, in the first game, we scored 121. They had 117, and Tyrese only had 6 points, and they scored 117. We can't stop them from scoring. We're lucky that they don't play any defense. We have to try to outscore them.
Yeah. I wonder how much of it is the pace of the game. I would have to look at
but we've been good in transition. Like we've been punishing them just as much. In other words, in the fourth quarter, we didn't get a ton of stops, but we got like 3 or 4, and they didn't get any. Right? And it feels like, especially come the fourth quarter, like they've done a good job in the first quarter on the preventing the offensive rebounds. They've done a decent job at the middle of the game, but it seems like in the fourth quarter, when there's the loose ball, the Knicks are getting it. When there's an offensive rebound to be had, the Knicks are getting those extra possessions, and that's, I think that's what you have to continue to push the pace, play 4-on-3, punish them for blitzing Brunson because they can't cover him one-on-one. If they're just going to cover him one-on-one, just let Brunson cook him. And look, that's what makes this team different than last year's team, right? They can beat you in multiple ways. They have shooters who can kill you. They have, the only thing that we really lack is a secondary dribble penetrator. We don't really have that second guy. Other than Brunson, we don't have anybody who can do that, but I'm not sure that, you don't need a ton of that. Again, they don't play great defense. They foul a lot. You can get to the line. They're going to give you open shots. They don't rotate properly. So if you cut and move like the Knicks have been doing, and you have a facilitator like Hartenstein has been, I think you can put up. I think that we can continue to put up points, but I think we're going to have Deuce kind of fill in some of that role that OG didn't have, and maybe I don't think he's going to play, but if he does, Alec Burks is going to need to do that. But I think you're going to get good minutes from Precious Achiuwa. During the regular season, he had like 15 points and a dozen rebounds. I think if he's playing some at the 4, or if he's playing a majority of his minutes at the 4 with Hartenstein, he's going to get a bunch of rebounds, and he's going to get a lot of second chance opportunities that are gimmies in the paint, where all he has to do is, he's not great at those looks anyway, but he'll have a chance to get 8-10 points just from, bunnies and second chance opportunities,
Right.
We scored 130 points last night, and Brunson was out for a whole quarter. And OG was out in the third.
Yeah,
they don't play any defense. Our shots obviously have to keep falling, because that's what, like Jeff said, that was
We're
our
getting
problem in the
good
past.
looks.
Yeah, we're
But
getting good looks all game.
Yeah,
but they swear they're playing defense though. Oh, you can't tell them that. They swear they Nimhard and all those guys think they're great defenders.
We getting such good looks. Dante, like I said, Dante shot a 3 when he shouldn't have. Like he was wide open. That's the only reason. Like it was almost like
it was like I'm so open. I
gotta shoot it.
I have to shoot it.
I don't care what the clock say. I'm gonna make this. Like that's how wide open he was. So.
Yeah. All right. I mean, I think. Let me see if I have anything left. I wanted to talk about Rick Carlisle crying.
I was going to say, let's talk about how Tibbs is out coaching another championship coach, second series in a row.
Queen, shout out to Freezy. Today's show, he played what he called the Rick Carlisle post game interview. Did y'all see it? It was just a video of a baby crying. So
yeah, man.
That was the post game interview.
Yeah, and I think when he's talking about you got to give small market teams a chance, and Denver won a championship. Milwaukee won a championship. So what are you talking about? You got to give small market teams a chance. No, you got to rebound. You can't miss 5 free throws in a row. Mm-hmm. You got to rebound and keep the Knicks off the board. Like this is how you would like. Yeah. Anyway,
probably Minnesota is a major market now.
Right.
And OKC.
And
OKC here.
And Denver.
Right.
And everybody else.
Give us a chance. I was like, he out here crying. And the players, Halliburton and McConnell was like, you're not going to tell me we lost this game because of the. And listen, he's a coach. He could have just been working the officials, right? Pat Riley has done it. Many coaches have done it in the press conference, trying to work the officials. But like, it just sounded like
it's a Phil Jackson special.
Yeah. And hopefully his team is not looking at their coach making excuses. Hopefully they also understand that he was just working there. Well, actually, who cares whether they understand it or not?
I think they should understand that. Like he's a veteran coach. Like we just compared him to Tibbs in the beginning of the show because they both came under Pat Riley. So Rick Carlisle
too?
I think so. Wasn't he part of that tree too?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yes. Okay.
I believe so. Like I could be wrong, but I think he is part of that tree. So Rick Carlisle has always been tough. Like he won a championship, like I said, but Tibbs is out coaching him. He's beating him with 7 players. And his best player was out for a whole quarter and they still lost.
Yeah. But
and they don't have any significant injuries except for like one bench player, and that's it. That's Ben Mathurin.
He's complaining about Josh Hart pushing Halliburton in the back, or everybody in the world know Halliburton got back problems. So it's what is he taught? Like it's our job to protect his back. Listen, man, yeah, he said everybody in the world know Halliburton got back problems. Josh Hart over there pushing him in the back. What? I bust out laughing. I'm like, did he seriously say that? So what? We got to just be careful with his bag so we don't hurt him. Listen, man, if you got back problem, you can't play, man. You need to what are you doing out there? Listen, man. Yo, shout out to the media. Listen. Yeah, so I had no time. I had no time for BSPN today because I went to hear what the other ones are saying. So Paul Pierce is on with Skip Bale. They all, I mean, everybody had spinning, Queen. Like I was telling you, they all confused. Nobody know what to do. They all sitting around a round table and try to tell Coach Carlisle what to do, how to stop Brunson, how to beat the Knicks, because nobody wants to see the Knicks win. Listen, Charles Barkley said yesterday he can't wait to see Boston beat the crap out the Knicks. Problem is, he don't even
stomp them. Yeah,
stomp them.
Yep.
Problem is, right now you don't even know if Boston gonna make it through because they got demolished tonight. Gilbert Arenas, like for somebody who played a game, I never heard that man say anything intelligent about basketball. Like never.
Now Gil know what he's talking about, but he also know media now, and he's pretty much trolling Knicks fans.
Yeah, he's just a troll. He really doesn't say anything of value to me.
And plus, he's not an analyst. Like, he has his own show. He has a podcast.
Right.
Like, I'm not saying it's all entertainment, because he does know basketball, but he doesn't work for ESPN. Like, he doesn't have a producer. Like, he doesn't have people.
Like, if he knows basketball, obviously he played, so he knows the game. He doesn't express it. Like, the stuff that come out of his mouth, I'm like, what's wrong with this guy? Like, what is he talking about?
He be trolling, man. That's what I think.
Oh, and shout out to TNT. I mean, a couple of things, right? Yesterday, the Knicks are giving him highlights upon highlights upon highlights. Their favorite highlights is 7-foot Miles Turner dunking on little Deuce McBride. Like, like, dude, he's 7 feet. He's 7 feet tall. He's supposed to be dunking on Deuce.
That was the first points he scored the game too.
Yeah, he only had 6 points yesterday, so that was a highlight for them. And then yesterday, the post-game show, instead of talking about the game that the Knicks just won, they had a 30-minute Jaren Jackson Jr. interview. Like, somebody really want to hear Jaren Jackson talk.
I did see
when
that.
he's on. When he just came back from vacation or Cancun, wherever the hell he was at. Like, because we want to hear Jaren Jackson Jr. talk after the Knicks done beat the Pacers again. Yeah. Man, shout out to them. You got to love the media.
Yeah, it is what it is. So that's all I got. Anything else, or any last words?
Nah, man. Salute to the chat. We ain't really talked to the chat that
man.
much today.
Yes. Should do
Like,
the chat, man. Wait, listen, y'all been hitting that like button, because let me check.
Yeah, Ajay ain't get him on the like button. What's going on? We
at 80, man. Let's get that thing to 100 before we get out of here, man. Come on, hit that thing on the way out. There's 116 people left. I need 20 of y'all to hit that like button on the way out.
Yeah, we only got 79 likes, man.
Yeah,
But salute to the chat, though.
Yeah, salute to the chat. HB Carlos from, I think he said Portugal. Nick Yak. Been a minute, Nick Yak.
Yeah, where Nick Yak been?
Yeah, Mets Knicks fans. Let's go. Apollo Williams.
Quiet Money.
Grant. J Tap. Appreciate you, J Tap.
Yeah, Q was in here.
D Coolest 718.
I think Indy was. Yeah, go ahead. You can call him out.
Shaw Legacy. I said Quiet Money already, right?
Quiet Money.
Yeah.
Bricks Nation.
Yeah.
Deron Wayne was in here. Who else was in here? Kenny Payne.
Kenny Payne was in.
Kevin Bergen was in here.
Kevin Bergen, D Block 1755. Donnell Emma Monty.
Lady and the Chef.
Lady.
Yes. Salute Lady and the Chef. Yeah.
Jam Rock in here hating on Thibodeau. There will be no Tom Thibodeau slander.
Hold on. Who was hating on Tiz? What did he say? I didn't see that.
Yo, or I didn't even put Jam Rock.
Jam Rock.
Yeah.
See, we can't.
You know, that sounds like some old grandpa talking about back in my day. Players used to playing 50 minutes a game. You know that Tibbs need what kind of geriatrics 90s thought process is that? Win the series and then you can rest. Hell yeah, it's the playoffs.
So you'd rather rest than lose? Man, salute to old head. He just put it. I've been listening. I miss old head. Salute to him.
Salute to old head. So yeah, there will be no Nick. There will be no Tom Thibodeau slander.
How?
Because if he was playing guys 34 minutes and he was losing, y'all would be up in here calling for his head. Relax.
We'd have lost to Philly already. We'd be gone.
He won by 1 point.
Hang on 1 second. Let's put things in perspective, okay? For a second. Time out. I know we all want ECF and all that stuff. We have equaled last year's performance with 5 players, rotation players, 5 rotation players out with injury, and we're at the same spot as last year at a minimum. That's the floor, boys and girls. That's the floor, ladies and gentlemen. That's the minimum. We're going to at least match last year. We can't get any lower than last year automatically. So
with all the injuries, all the everything, no Julius Randle, everybody doubting us, Jalen Brunson taking the next step into superstardom, Josh Hart elevating his game, Dante DiVincenzo proving that he's a terrific player. I mean, put it in perspective. I know we're thirsty for a championship. It's been a long time, but
they not thirsty. If you want to play somebody 23 minutes, you're not thirsty. Because if you thirsty, you going all out. If you thirsty, you want to know why Brunson came out the game and why he stayed out so long.
For real,
man. I've always kind of think of this as like a blessing in disguise. Say say we're shorthanded, war of attrition finally screws us over. We lose. We don't win a championship. But the experience and the minutes that these guys are playing moving forward, can you imagine if we had the people that are hurt on our team right now? The stuff that I would be saying on this team, you would probably have to kick me off, Steph. I'll be talking so much smack on here. Wouldn't nobody beat us if we had our full roster with the way our team is playing right now?
Yep.
It's not a team in this league that would beat us in a 7-game series if we had a full roster.
Yeah. I mean, no doubt about it. There's no reason to save a player now.
Mm-mm.
What are you saving minutes for? So they can be fresh for when? The summer?
The summer, so they can be fresh to work out over the summer.
I mean, this is not the time to be saving play. And then not only that, we can't. People act like we got a full roster and Tibbs is choosing to play 6.5 players.
Charlie Brown fan club,
Yeah,
I guess.
they want them to play Charlie Brown and Jacob Toppin and stuff, and Shake Milton.
Oh, don't forget Mamadou Diakite.
I see him on the court, Jeff. I'm turning it off.
I probably didn't even pronounce his name right, but I know he's on the roster. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I'm turning it off if I see him. We should.
Wiz, I see you sliding in on the end. You notice that the presidents of the clubs, boy, they don't come through when they play it.
And look, Wiz
at the end.
Wiz on the West Coast, so it ain't even late for him. He ain't got no
Right. What's up with Deuce? What's up with Deuce, Wiz? What's up with McConnell busting him up? Talk to me.
See, lucky we ain't got the call-ins. We would have told you to call in. Wiz, your man Deuce has not been deucing nothing.
Deuce is not producing, and we need some production right now.
If Deuce is being flushed right now, what's going on?
If he was taking calls, Deuce would have said, "My phone battery dying."
Right. Yeah. Anyway,
all right.
Shout out to you, Wiz. I've been giving Deuce some slack, but we need him though. We need him.
Yeah, and I think he's gonna come up big though.
I was about to say, Wiz. Scroll back maybe about half an hour. We actually had a whole. We all talked about Deuce.
Yeah.
Talk about how he needs to step up, and we need him. Yeah. We need him to win.
Let's get this W.
Yep.
Let's stomp on their necks. I want 3-0.
Yeah. Oh. Yes. Then maybe you could sit somebody in game. Well,
no, we don't sit nobody.
Yeah.
No,
we get 3-0, we get 4-0.
3-0, we go for the kill.
People.
Don't play with your food, right?
3-0, we go for the kill.
Don't play with it.
Yeah.
Don't play with it. Don't play with that up 2-0.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. You hear people say, "Oh, rest so and so for game." Ain't no resting. If you could go, you go.
It's the playoffs.
There isn't a lot of players that's 100%. They were talking about Luka. That Luka might be 70%, 75%.
Yeah, and he already plays slow. So imagine I'm actually looking at their game now. They're tied up 70 all.
Joel, you see how they was down by 14 points, and in literally like 90 seconds of playing time, they tied the game.
Yep.
The OKC, man, that's amazing stuff going on here. Real quick.
Any last words?
Let's go Knicks, man. Tomorrow,
Thank
man.
you
Let's
for
go up 3-0 tomorrow.
3-0. If we go in 3,
It just sounds good. We go 3-0 tomorrow.
Well, we need to do you have any of you have the schedule by any chance? Like
Every other day.
Sunday is a 3:30 game, so it's not even 24 hours. It's not even 48 hours, I should say, between Friday and Sunday.
No, I mean like next week. When like if we're gonna
Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, Tuesday.
Okay.
It's probably Tuesday.
Wait. If necessary.
If
necessary. Yeah, throw that in there.
If necessary.
If necessary. I think
they ain't dead yet, and if Brunson doesn't play tomorrow, it's gonna be tough sledding.
If we had one more point guard, though,
Steph, don't do that. You're gonna do nothing but piss me off. Don't do that. There's no more ifs. We in the playoffs.
Yeah, it is.
When you was on Queen's Court, I typed in the chat. If you scared, get a dog.
Yeah.
This is the NBA playoffs. Every game is going to be tough. Every game is going to be close. There are no we're not playing like Charlotte anymore.
Right.
On random nights trying to get off. No, we're going to play tough competition every single time we play the game now.
Yeah, that's true.
It doesn't matter who's on the roster. Doesn't matter who's hurt. They don't care if Jalen Brunson only got one leg tomorrow. They're not gonna care. They're still gonna press him.
Yeah,
you got to beat him.
Oh no! Don't do that. Everybody know Halliburton got back problem. Josh over there push him in the back.
Yeah, everybody know Jalen Brunson got foot problems. You better not touch him tomorrow. Tibbs got to get on these reps just like Rick Carlisle do.
But I just want to say this before we leave. The call that they took back, the double dribble, and Carlisle was upset because they didn't do it with the kickball. But could it be that another ref saw that it wasn't a double dribble, and with the kickball, no, the other ref didn't see it. Nobody else saw it. Because usually, if they're conferencing, is because somebody else saw something.
That's what it was.
And then they conference with the kickball. Maybe nobody else saw it.
And Queen, it was the game before. So what is he saying?
Well,
it's not the same game.
Rick Carlisle, if you're gonna keep crying, what are the babies gonna do? This is the NBA playoffs.
Got to be in the moment. You crying over something that happened in game one.
Right.
Get another technical. Playoffs. I don't care. Give us some free throws. I'm good for it. Great. Keep crying. Get thrown out again.
He did that for the games moving forward. He does not care about the games that just happened.
Yeah. He did. He was working the official.
That's him.
He's a vet.
He was going a little too deep. Like give the small market teams a
I don't know where that came from.
It worked for Nick Nurse. Remember, Nurse played the crybaby card after game 2, and in game 3 they shot 80 bajillion free throws. So it's a copycat league.
Shout out to Nick Nurse, man. Remember that play when Embiid pulled Mitchell Robinson leg down? They asked Nick Nurse about that. He said, "Oh, I didn't see that play.
I didn't see it."
Nah, shout out to Nick Nurse for saying he was calling a timeout when he clearly wasn't. He pump faked the timeout and they said, "Yeah, I was calling a timeout the whole time." That's what they're supposed to do, man. They're trying to win the game. This is the playoffs.
Right.
They're going to lie. They're going to scratch. They're going to claw. They're trying to win.
And, going back to that kickball, and Queen, I remember I asked you that question. So nobody saw the kickball, but nobody saw that it was not a kickball. There's no video angle that showed that it was not either.
Correct.
There's no proof that it was not a kickball.
Right.
So, I don't. I mean, it's basically a 50-50 call.
Right.
With the double dribble, that's not something I think that could be challenged or something. That's why they had to conference that.
Right.
And they said it was like an inverted whistle. Like I would have been pissed too if I was Rick Carlisle.
But I think the other officials saw that it wasn't a double dribble.
But if they did call that, it would have been one of the worst calls in the history of the universe.
No, but that
if that call had stood, we'd have been howling.
No, I guess what I'm saying is he did call double dribble.
He did.
Yeah.
But they took it away and said it was an inverted whistle. Now, if that was us, we would have been pissed off too.
Right, but I don't know why they said inadvertent whistle, because it happens all the time. An official will blow make a call, and another official will come in and be like, no, I saw it different, and they'll conference, and what have you. So
that's not what they say, Queen. They said, no, you messing up my parlay, bro.
No, don't do that.
What you doing, man? Come on, I'm gonna draft you. What's the matter with you, man?
Right. They don't usually call it an inadvertent whistle, though.
Yeah,
they don't usually call it that.
But that's why maybe he was pissed. He was like, "What is that even?" Like in the fourth quarter, if you're the coach and they say inadvertent whistle, I'd have been pissed too. Yeah. I might not have cried and said I would have made up a whole story about like the small market teams and stuff, but I would have been mad too.
Right. Minnesota OKC ain't having trouble being a small market.
Right. Everybody in the playoffs is a small market team except for us in Boston, I think, right?
Well, Boston's a small market. Get out of here with them.
And Dallas. Other than that, everybody's left is a small market team, I think. Cleveland.
Listen, and I don't know, is Dallas not a huge market for the NBA?
It's big.
Dallas NBA and hoops.
Dallas is a big market, yeah.
I know football. I know, yeah. All right.
Dallas is a big market.
Even if you counted the marginal teams, shout out to Knick Film School today. I was listening to them. They usually have their Friday show, but they had it today. And they were counting the small market. Even if you included the marginal teams, big market teams, it's still not even 10 teams. Even if you included Houston, Dallas, Boston, New York, the 2 LA teams,
Philly,
Golden State
was one of the teams. Like it's 30 teams in the NBA.
Right. Other than that, that's it.
You're talking about less than 10 teams, and some of them are even marginally big market.
Probably the Raptors are a big market team. They're the only Canadian team, right? I would say.
Yeah. Toronto is a big market team.
So that's 9.
Atlanta.
You got Miami.
Chicago. Definitely.
Chicago.
Miami, Chicago.
Miami, they don't even come to the game. I was in Miami. They didn't even come to the game. It was like 7:20.
But that's just because they on South Beach, not because they market not big, though. They don't care about sports.
Atlanta doesn't come to the game either.
Right. It's kind of the same premise. They have Magic City somewhere, Jeff. They're having a good time, man. They they worry about sports later. That's where every sport, like football, basketball, baseball, they're not really huge when it comes to fan support.
Right. Yeah, I don't think Miami is a big market either.
Miami, Florida is not a big market.
You think that's a?
All right.
Yes. All right. I guess it is.
Yeah, they definitely are. We didn't even say Brooklyn because they're not in the playoffs.
10 fans, that's a big market.
Yeah.
10 fans. Yeah, so maybe it is over 10.
What, you said 10?
Yeah, it's over 10. Big market teams.
But
10 fans is what he's arguing. He's like,
10 fans. So
they doesn't have 10 fans is what he's telling me.
So they lost 27. I thought they had 37 fans. So you're saying 10. They lost some fans.
They went with KD and Kyrie, bro.
You just can't confuse market with fan base.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah, it's still a New York team, in other words, Brooklyn.
Yeah.
All right, family. We will figure out how the Knicks play, when the Knicks play next week, and figure out when we'll have our next weekly show. We'll squeeze it in between one of the playoff games.
Hopefully we're done on Sunday, and then we can just
Jeff, you guys are talking sweep.
No, Sunday would be 5, right? No, Sunday would be
Sunday is sweep.
It'd be a sweep Sunday.
Maybe Tuesday, but yeah,
let's get it. Hey, kill him. Kill him.
Jeff, not even one game.
Stop him.
Well, I said Knicks in 5. I would love to be wrong. Like if we ended on Sunday, I'm not complaining.
If they lose tomorrow's game, if they lose tomorrow's game, the Pacers, they getting swept.
But yeah, somebody said Brunson is 90% chance not playing tomorrow. I don't
I
know
didn't
how
know
true
that.
that is.
Have you seen that? Where did
No,
that?
no, somebody just said that in the chat
Oh, they don't know.
that they saw. Jerrell said they don't know what they.
They don't.
Well, it's going to be a game time decision. I mean,
I don't even think Brunson knows if he's going to be 90% not playing tomorrow.
Because they probably would have ruled him out. Oh, we got 93. We need 7 more likes to get to 100.
Come on, y'all. On the way out.
Come on, man.
Go to his secondary Gmail account.
Hey, yo,
open up a new account.
Yo, hold on. I'm not even going to lie. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I didn't do it. So it's 94 right now.
94.
You had to get mine in. I forgot.
All right. AJ, Geoff.
Y'all do it?
Oh,
y'all
yeah,
got
yeah.
I was the first one.
Okay, my
I had
bad.
I had to exit the studio, make sure because I'm on my phone. I exited the studio, hit the like, and then came back in.
Right.
We just need 2.
Because I was about to talk some junk until I went and looked at the thing and didn't see my thing. I was like, hold on, never mind. Hold on, let me shut up. And click
You
the
need
like
to go to
button.
your Die Hard Giants account and do it a second time.
Right.
98.
We're at 98. 2 more
Yeah.
like who's holding out?
Yeah, we can see. Watch they not. They gonna want.
Nick Yak, you holding out?
They don't want to show
No,
that.
it's Wiz because we were on his boy Deuce, so he's like, I ain't liking that show. Yeah, but
Oh, Wiz holding out. Wiz holding out.
Wiz is holding out.
We had 100. We had
We had
100.
100. All right.
nice.
We had 100.
I appreciate you, fam. We'll be back next week. And who knows? There might be a pop-up show.
This weekend, yeah.
Yeah, maybe there'll be a pop-up show. All right. The Knicks
They
win.
always talk about.
We might have to have a show Sunday night.
They always trying to get you to do a pop-up show.
Let me tell you, I almost forgot the show last week because
AJ ain't gonna let you forget those.
AJ was like, "Well, you know, we play this, then we got this game, and we got this game," and I was like, "Oh yeah, we do got to go tonight." That's AJ.
AJ has it printed out on his form there.
No, not the new schedule.
Yeah, that was
man.
the
New
regular
schedule.
season. That was the regular season.
That was regular season.
Yeah. A lot of fun. Jerrell, AJ, Geoff, I appreciate you guys rocking with me every week.
Peace, chat.
And
Peace
the
to
chat, the replay gang. I'm so behind with my comments to the comments, but I'll get on it. But I appreciate you. Subscribe to the channel, hit the like button. Until next time, family.
Peace.
Sister, you one of a kind.
Yes.
Oh, sister, it's time you
That's
shine. Don't so,
Where you at? Where you at?
don't so,
Where you at? Where you at?
don't so.